Okay, let's say we have $100 in an account that is earning 4%. If you leave it and it grows at 4%, in 18 years, it will double to 200, right? So what happened in another 18 years at 4%? It will double again to 400. So here is the problem. 36 years from now, will 400 buy what 100 does today? Well, that's inflation. Okay, Mr. Client, if people are saving, where are they putting their money? Banks, credit unions, fixed accounts, etc. They are not even getting 4%. Can you see what is happening? Well, money is growing, but inflation is growing too. And it's growing much quicker. So they are losing purchasing power, and they may never retire, and that's a big problem. The solution is to help them obtain a potentially better interest rate. Let's say a person is getting between 6 and 12%. Look at this example, okay? Let's assume you are 29 years old, and then you have $10,000 at 4%. Into 72 is 18. So what $10,000 grow in 36 years is $40,000. You are 65, the kids are gone, the house is paid off, and you want to retire, but you just have $40,000. So how long is that gonna last? The way you spend money, probably it's not gonna last a lot, right? Sorry, just kidding. But maybe a year, right? Maybe a little bit longer if you are really organized. And then you are out of money and you are gonna end working at Walmart. But here is the problem. You don't have money right now, and you don't really want to work when you are 65, right? So the only thing we can change this is the interest rate. And here is a $1 million question. If you could have 6 to 12% interest instead of 4%, could you have a greater financial independence? Well, the answer is yes. So look at this. 6%, your money doubles every 12 years. At 8%, it doubles every 9 years. At 12%, it doubles every 6 years. So in 36 years, at age 65, you got $640,000. Isn't that amazing? So the only difference between this guy and this guy is just the interest rate. No more time, no more money. Same age, same amount of money, just the interest rate. But it cost this guy $600,000. Now, don't you think this is important to learn? This could change really the quality of your life. And you know what? It is not about having $10,000. The key is saving a little bit on a monthly basis at a decent interest rate. If you will save for you and a decent interest rate, there may be a time when you not be out of earnings your money, but your money will be out earning you. It's pretty awesome, right? So this is the question. Where can I get a decent rate of return, but yet have a protection of a principal where you are actually guaranteed not to lose any money? Well, actually, there are 3 different strategies. We will tell you each one, and you will tell me which one makes the most sense for you. That way, I will know what is important for you when we get back together, okay? First is the fixed rate approach. You get a guaranteed fixed rate, but it's a low rate, approximately 2 to 3%, which may be risky because of inflation. You're not really gonna make any money. The second approach is the stock market or the mutual funds, where you have the potential of high returns, but with a greater risk of losing your money. And a lot of people has, because it has been pretty uncertain lately. And well, the third way is the index strategy, where all the principal you save is protected and all the interest earned is also protected and you don't lose your money. All the interest earned is linked to what is the S&P 500 stock index does, which is for the past 25 years has the average almost 10% a year. So of those three, which one do you think makes more sense? The index strategy, right? Well, you know, this is very popular strategy. Let me talk about it. Have you heard about the S&P 500 index? Okay. You know, when we get back together, if we now know that the index strategy is good for you, I'll explain the specific products cost and floors and caps associated with the recommended product. But for now, I'm going to give you an overview of the index strategy and how the interest works, okay? All the interest earned is linked to an S&P 500 up to a cap of 30% over 2 years period of time, but without any of the downside risks associated with putting money directly into the stock market, right? So you see your money is protected from any market loss. And at the same time, you participate in the growth of the S&P 500 up to a cap of 30% over 2 years period of time with the protection of any downside market risk. That sounds pretty important, don't you think? Well, here's an example. Let's say that a few years back you had $10,000 to the index strategy. And let's say the S&P 500 did 10%. The first year now it has grown to $11,000. And let's say that the second year it grew another 10%. And now you are your total is gonna be $12,100. Well, in the third year, the S&P loses 20%. Is that possible? Absolutely. In fact, all that happened. But now instead of your account value dropping 20% to $9,600, in year 3 it remains to $12,100. So you see why the index approach is quickly becoming one of the most popular, and you can see why. Well, one of the best ways to win the rate of return and inflation battles is to be able to get potentially higher growth and protect your principal from losses. But you cannot just win the rate of return battle and forget about taxes. In fact, I am going to show you an example that will shock you. Let's say that 30 years ago there was a guy that was 30 years old and he wants to have $1 million by the time he was 60. So he goes to the bank and he asks the banker, what do I need to save in 30 years so I can have $1 million when I am 60? That time the CD rates were something like 2 to 3%. Well, the bank calculated and told him, you know what, you have to put something like $1,600 per month for 30 years at 5% rate and you will have your $1 million. Well, the man walked away very disappointed. Now he's still working. Now, what if he could have taught him how to win these two battles? The rate of return and the battle and the tax battle. Look at how it drops that number. It's almost unbelievable. Let's win these two battles, one at a time. The rate of return battle, let's say he could have averaged 10% instead of 5%. It takes the number clearly down to $900 a month. However, Mr. Client, not everybody can save $900, right? So, however, that's $700 less than the guy, and that money is significant. Now, What if we help him to put his money away in a place where it can be taxed while it grows? So with tax deferred, he just has to put away $400 a month. Now, Mr. Client, do you know people that can put away $400 a month? Yeah, probably a lot of people, right? See, to a lot of people, this is not a big deal. It's not about putting away a lot of money. It's putting away what you can and a decent interest rate, reducing taxes and avoiding loss of principal. In fact, in step 6, when we are done, a person knows exactly how and when they will be totally financial independent. And if we do it right, we can shave years off your retirement date. It's really, really neat. Mr. Client, let me ask you this. If you were financially independent right now and you don't have to work anymore, what would you be doing with your life right now? Oh, well, that's right. That's great. Now, think about it. If you are financially independent, you have options, and that is the point. You can do whatever you want. The other day I had an appointment with a couple talking about implementation phase, and the wife was really excited. She gets up and said, "You know what? I could go door to door asking my neighbors when they are going to be financially independent, and no one of them would be able to tell me. But I do." So you know what happened? You know what happened to that couple? It was just neat, because that couple became one, because they knew what their dreams and goals were and when it was going to happen. So this is exciting. That's step 6. Step 7 is the last one, is the estate planning. If you have a living trust, you can leave a legacy instead of a tax problem and headaches for your survivors. A trust sometimes helps avoid the cost and delays of probate and can protect against some liabilities. It's important to have a living will, power of attorney, etc. Do you remember the story of Terry Schiavo, the lady who became incapacitated and had the whole world arguing about what should happen to her? Well, imagine how different it would have been for her and her family if she had had a living will. Are you concerned you will make are you concerned who will make medical, legal, and financial decisions if you can't? Well, let me ask you, do you already have an attorney or other advisors for estate planning issues? Well, we recommend you some attorneys who specialize in estate planning, or can also use company that prepares for simple estate planning.